Hi! Okay, gonna talk about something super serious today. If people watch this, they might be like, no, you're being silly. I don't really care. I don't think I'm being silly. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about some seriously dangerous stuff that's been going on in the entertainment industry. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the entertainment industry that is very dangerous. I mean, the media itself is pretty much responsible for so many problems today. But I'm not going to go into that. What I am going to talk about is two books that are very dangerous, especially to the audience, their intended audience, which is females, about ages probably like 14 to 25. That's a really rough guesstimation. Don't hold me to that. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Twilight. Now, when Twilight first came out, everybody was like, oh my god, there's nothing like this before. And they were just like, oh, this is the most romantic love story. It's not romantic. Like, it's just not. It appears so at first glance, but when you really like think about it and you continue to read the books, it's not romantic. It's romanticizing a type of relationship that is very dangerous for both partners in some cases, and it's not okay. People are looking at it and saying, oh, he's protective because he really cares about her, but he's also possessive. He stalks her. He watches her while she's asleep, which I don't know about you, but that's like not romantic. Like, they didn't even know each other and he's just like chilling outside her window. Like, I mean, I don't sleep, so I guess I'll just watch you do it. What? That is so not even a little bit attractive. That's like scary. That's like at the point where the guy's like, I watch you while you sleep. Okay, call the cops, get a restraining order. Really though. And like, people were just like, oh no, because Edward's so perfect. Edward is basically like the cookie cutter of an abuser. He really is. He is always isolating her. Takes her, like, basically makes her choose between him and all her friends and her family. He constantly puts her in danger, but then if she tries to do anything that he tells her not to do, he says, no, I'm trying to protect you. Protect her from what? You're the only reason she's in danger in the first place. I mean, like, he sets up all the rules for everything. This is how far we go sexually. This is what we do then. This is what we do now. When I tell you to do something, you just do it. You don't question me. Just do it. Just do it, Bella. And it's really upsetting to me because what people need these days, especially young women, they need role models that are strong, independent women. And what Stephenie Meyer paints in Twilight is a pathetic, totally dependent girl, really. She's not even acting like a woman, who basically puts all of her self-worth, all of her life, all of her choices are all on him. They're all about Edward. And she's like, I can't exist without him. And then when he leaves, she wanders into the woods and just falls down and lays there to die. That is so not okay. That is so not romantic. That is disgusting. She's basically stating that some people are absolutely worth nothing. Their life is meaningless without their partner or without a partner. What? No. That's not, no. See, like, even entering into a relationship with this mindset is a really dangerous thing. Because when you get into a relationship, it should be not to make yourself whole. That's why I hate that when they're like, oh, you complete me. You make me whole. No, you are, by saying that, suggesting that without this person, you are an incomplete being and therefore have no real meaning or no real life if they are away from you. What? No, you are a complete being. You've got everything you need inside of you. Do you want love? Yes. It is totally natural to want love. It is totally natural to want to have someone to love you. But the fact is, you have to love yourself first. And when you find someone, you can't start a relationship thinking they're everything to me. Without them, I am nothing. No relationship will go very far with that. Only in the books, right? Only in the books. Because, dear God, she makes it out like Edward is like God, basically. And in the minds of a lot of people now, after reading these books and hearing these things, they think he is too. And this is such a dangerous thing, especially because, like, even though her intended audience was obviously, like, middle teenagers, there are 11-year-olds who have read all of these books and seen all of these movies, and they're internalizing all of this. Okay, if my boyfriend isn't possessive, if he doesn't tell me what to do, if he doesn't constantly save me, then oh my God, he doesn't love me. He's not my knight in shining armor, and I have to get away from him, and I have to find someone who will do those things. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh, no. This is so wrong. And, you know, I started with Twilight because it's actually, even though it's completely awful, it's actually the lesser of the two evils that I'm going to talk about. Now, the worst part, the really god-awful one, would be 50 Shades of Grey. People are reading this thing, which already just amazes me, because, like, the author, I don't know if they're just illiterate or what. Their writing is completely childish. Like, they repeat the same thing over and over again in the text. Like, they don't know any other word for it, and it's just really weird. It seems like a fandom that was just typed up within, like, less than an hour. And then people were just like, oh, this is great, because people don't know what good literature is anymore. But that's not the point. The thing about 50 Shades of Grey that makes it so completely awful is that it takes the ideas that Twilight upholds and takes them to, like, the extreme. She basically, like, lets him control her. She's not his girlfriend, she is his pet. And what makes this so messed up is, like, he has absolutely no respect for any of her decisions. If she says no, he completely ignores it. And that's what's even more dangerous about this, because this goes more into not the just, you know, emotional abuse, okay, which is mainly what Twilight is. This goes into physical abuse. He does things to her that she's not comfortable with, and when she says no, he ignores it, and he does it anyway. He continues. He decides everything for her, and she sits there and says, you know, I don't really feel comfortable, but you will. You'll be okay. It'll be fine. And then she listens to him. So, oh my gosh, like, he does everything, and he has all the say, and she has none. She has no control over her own sex life, and then her own life, because in many ways he controls her through that too. And this goes to the whole, you know, BDSM, you know, the master and the slave, sir, all this stuff. I'm not saying that's wrong. If that's the kind of sex you like, good for you. But the wrong thing about this book is, when you are actually actively in a BDSM relationship, or the sir, or the master and the slave, or whatever you want to call it, you are engaging in it because you want to. You are setting up these parameters, and you're saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is not what we're going to do, this is what we're both comfortable with, this is what we're going to stay away from. End of. Awesome. Now you can go have all the fun you want. But in this book, she has none of that. She doesn't get to set up parameters. She doesn't get to say, no, don't do this. I'm not comfortable with this. Don't do this. It's degrading. Don't do this. She doesn't say anything like that. Instead, he just goes full force, whatever he wants, you know, does things too hard, too aggressive, you know, things she's not comfortable with, forces her. It is complete battery, abuse, and just complete, like, rape, really. It really is. And it's sickening, because she's just like, oh, I can change him. I know I can change him. He's really a good guy. No, he's not. He is using you for his own pleasures, because you literally will have no mind of your own if he says it. And it's so wrong. And what really upsets me about all of this is that, you know, 12-year-olds are reading this. 12-year-olds are reading this. both of the books, actually. I mean, it's available online from what I've heard. They're reading this. They're reading this, and they're sitting there, and they're thinking, okay, this is what an adult relationship looks like. Is that really the type of, like, male role model that you want to give? You know? Is that really... Oh my gosh. And, like, I guess I kind of have, like, a word for this that I've always used. And it's basically... the white horse disorder. And it's where you set up this man to fit into the archetype of the prince, the knight in shining armor, what have you, and you perpetuate it to the point where girls believe that that is the type of person they should be with, that is the person that will make them happy, that is the person they will end up with. So unhealthy, because all of those girls now are looking to be in abusive relationships, and when they find it, they will stick with it, because they'll be like, oh no, we'll be happy in the end. Oh no, I'm his Bella and he's my Edward. You are setting young women up to be abused and be okay with it. No, you should be telling them, you know what, this is what a strong woman does. And it really upsets me because, like, okay, Stephanie Myers, you're a woman, you should know better. Like, you should not be doing this. Would you want your daughter to feel this way? Would you want your daughter to feel like she has no control over her own life and that without a boyfriend she is literally nothing and does not deserve to live? Think about it. And that's what I really want to tell people, because, like, I'm an author too, but you know what? The first thing in the, like, both of the books that I've started writing, I got some serious, strong female leads. And that's what women need to see. That's what women need to be hearing about. Strong, independent women who don't take crap from anybody and who sure as heck don't let a man dictate what they wear, you know, what they do, where they go, who they're friends with, nothing. Because they dictate it themselves. And why would you ever want to make someone feel worthless? I mean... why? It doesn't make sense to me.